Hey, this is our third reading. Tuesday, June 30th, 1942. Dear Kitty, I've not had a moment to write to you until today. I was with friends all day on Thursday. On Friday, we had visitors, and so it went on until today. Harry and I have got to know each other well in a week, and he has told me a lot about his life. He came to Holland alone, and he is living with his grandparents. His parents are in Belgium. Harry had a girlfriend called Fanny. I know her too, a very soft, dull creature. Now that he has met me, he realizes that he was just daydreaming in Fanny's presence. I seem to act as a stimulant to keep him awake. You see, we all have our uses, and queer ones too at times. Jopi slept here on Saturday night, but she went to Lies on Sunday, and I was bored stiff. Harry was to have come in the evening, but he rang up at 6 p.m., and I went to the telephone. He said, Harry Goldberg's here. Please, may I speak to Anne? Yes, Harry. Anne speaking. Hello, Anne. How are you? Very well, thank you. I'm terribly sorry I can't come this evening, but I would like to just speak to you. Is it all right if I come in 10 minutes? Yes, that's fine. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'll be with you soon. Receiver down. I quickly changed into another frock and smartened up my hair a bit. Then I stood nervously at the window watching for him. At last I saw him coming. It was wonder I didn't dash down at once. Instead, I waited patiently until he rang. Then I went down, and he positively burst when I opened the door. Aunt, my grandmother thinks you are too young to go out regularly with me, and that I should go to the Lures, but perhaps you know when I'm not going out with Fanny any more. No, why is that? Have you quarreled? No, not at all. I told Fanny that we didn't get on well together, so it was better for us not to go out together any more, but she was always welcome in our home, and I hoped I should be in hers. You see, I thought Fanny had been going out with another boy and treated her accordingly. But that was quite untrue. And now my uncle says I should apologize to Fanny, but of course I didn't want to do that, so I finished the whole affair. And that was just one of the many reasons. My grandmother would rather I went with Fanny than you, but I shan't. Old people have such terribly old-fashioned ideas at times, but I just can't fall into line. I need my grandparents, but in a sense they need me too. From now on, I shall be free on Wednesday evenings. Officially, I go to the wood carving lessons to please my grandparents, and in actual fact, I'm going to a meeting of the Zionist movement. I'm not supposed to because my grandparents are very much against the Zionists, but I am no means a fanatic. But I have a leaning that way and find it interesting. But lately, it has become such a mess there that I'm going to quit. So next Wednesday will be my last time. Then I shall be able to see you on Wednesday evenings, Saturday afternoons, Sunday afternoon, and perhaps more. But your grandparents are against it. You can't do it behind their backs. Love finds a way. Then we passed the bookshop on the corner, and there stood Peter Wessel and two other boys. He said, hello. It's the first time he's spoken to me for ages. I was really pleased. Harry and I walked on and on. The end of it was all that I should meet him at 5 minutes to 7 in the front of his house next evening. Yours, Anne. Friday, July 3rd, 1942. Dear Kitty, Harry visited us yesterday to meet my parents. I had bought a cream cake, sweet tea, and fancy biscuits, quite a spread, but neither Harry nor I felt like sitting stiffly side by side indefinitely, so we went for a walk, and it was already 8:10 when he brought me home. Daddy was very cross and thought it was very wrong of me because it's dangerous for Jews to be out after 8 o'clock, and I had to promise to be in 7 to 8 in the future. Tomorrow I've been invited to his house. My girlfriend Joby teases me the whole time about Harry. I'm honestly not in love. Oh, no. I can surely have boyfriends. No one thinks anything of that. But one boyfriend, or beau, as Mother calls him, seems to be quite different. Harry went to see Eva one evening, and she told me that she asked him, "What do you like best, Fanny or Anne?" He said, "It's nothing to do with you." But when he left, they hadn't chatted together anymore the whole evening. "Now, listen, it's Anne. So long, and don't tell a soul." And like a flash, he was gone. It's easy to see that Harry is in love with me. Rather fun for a change. Margot would say, "Harry's a decent lad." I agree, but he is more than that. Mummy is full of praise. A good-looking boy, a well-behaved, nice boy. I'm glad the whole family approves of him. He likes them too, but he thinks my girlfriends are very childish. And he's quite right. Yours, Anne. Sunday morning, the 5th of July, 1942. Dear Kitty, our examination results were announced in the Jewish theater last Friday. I couldn't have hoped for better. My report is not at all bad. I had 1 Vic Satis, a 5 for algebra, 2 6s, and the rest were all 7s or 8s. They were certainly pleased at home, although over the question of marks my parents are quite different from most. They don't care a bit whether my reports are good or bad as long as I am well and happy, and not too cheeky. Then the rest will come by itself. I am just the opposite. I don't want to be a bad pupil. I should really have stayed in the 7th from the Montessori school, but was accepted for the Jewish secondary. When all the Jewish children had to go to Jewish schools, the headmaster took Liz and me conditionally after a bit of persuasion. He relied on us to do our best, and I don't want to let him down. My sister Margot has her report too. Brilliant as usual. She would move up with cum laude, if that existed at school. She is so brainy. Daddy has been at home a lot lately, as there is nothing for him to do at business. It must be rotten to feel so superfluous. Oh my gosh. Superfluous. Mr. Cupius has taken over Travis and Mr. Kraler from the Coal and Company. Whew! We walked across our little square together a few days ago. Daddy began to talk of us going into hiding. I asked him why on earth he was beginning to talk about that already. Yes, Anne, he said. You know that we have been taking food, clothes, and furniture to other people for more than a year now. Wow, a whole year. We don't want our belongings to be seized by the Germans, but we certainly don't want to fall into their clutches ourselves. So we shall disappear of our own accord and not wait until they come and fetch us. But, Daddy, when would it be? He spoke so seriously that I grew very anxious. Don't worry about it. We shall arrange everything. Make the most of your carefree young life when you can. That was all. Oh! May the fulfillment of these somber words remain a far distant yet. Yours, Anne.